So there's a lot going on today, and I wanted to break it all down for you guys. So Tesla had a very interesting move, ran to highs of $4.12 per share, and then came crashing down to lows of $3.84. In today's live trading session with the LPP team, if you guys didn't check it out, it's the second link in the description down below. You can feel free to rewatch it at any time. But we actively shorted Tesla from the highs, added more to it, and then covered as it approached pre-market support. It continued to sell off, and then now it ripped right back up again. I opened up a new short, and we'll see how that one plays out. So far, I'm up a little bit over $1,200 on that specific trade. MSTR was the really big trade, and again, feel free to go rewatch that live trading session. MSTR pushed up, became incredibly overbought. I opened up a short position, and then finally, when direction became favorable, I ended up taking profits at previous lows, walking away with $3,600 on the day, and again, closing out my entire short on MSTR. The only other stock that I want to talk about is Apple. Apple is set to report earnings today. And again, I do not have to. I want to ask you, if you want me to go live for Apple as they report earnings, it's going to be today after the market closes. They currently have a market cap of $3.58 trillion, making them one of the most valuable companies that's publicly traded. So depending if Apple exceeds expectation and forecast and guidance for these up and coming quarters, will determine if Apple gaps up or gaps down, and therefore also influences other major markets. So if we look at Apple, right? Apple set to report earnings today after the market closes, Intel and Visa, and we actually had UPS. We'll talk about that towards the end of the video. But the thing that I want to highlight is, well, what do we expect? If we look at Apple's breakdown of what is expected for them to report for earnings, we can see that there's a forecast of $2.36 per share for their EPS, and their revenue is expected to be $124.99 billion. Based off of different articles that I've read, they are expected to miss earnings. So again, this would be a big surprise since Apple doesn't ever really miss earnings. So it's going to be very interesting to pay attention. I would love to watch this one with you guys. But again, all I literally ask you guys to do is drop a thumbs up, get this video to over 500 likes, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. The thing that I also wanted to quickly highlight are things to know. This article highlights it as things to know before the market opens on Thursday. As I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard, the Federal Reserve decided to pause. They did not cut interest rates. They did not raise interest rates. Pretty much markets originally traded sideways. There was not really much of a positive or negative catalyst. Nothing new going on there. This was pretty crazy. So there was an American Airlines regional jet that collided midair with a Black Hawk military helicopter. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the video. It's been circulating. Very unfortunate news. 64 people were on board, and to my understanding, none of them have been recovered. We'll see, as that's still a developing story. And this is one of the worst air disasters in U.S. soil in more than 15 years. Again, not good news, right? And then again, talking about the Federal Reserve leaving interest rates unchanged and pretty much didn't expect to cut interest rates until probably the middle of this year. And then Microsoft, Meta, and Tesla, so much volatility with those three companies. And obviously the NASDAQ market is just trying to figure out what it's going to do. NASDAQ is not cheap. It's quite on the overbought side. There's a lot of pullback potential, but we'll see based off of what Apple reports when it comes down to its earnings, how the market will react. If Apple ends up missing its earnings and its guidance, Apple's going to sell off. And then at that point, NASDAQ market will also sell off, bringing down the rest of big tech. If Apple exceeds expectation and begins to gap up, then NASDAQ market will most likely gap up, bringing up the rest of the market. So again, Apple currently is trading right around 237 to 238. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it trades by the end of the day. UPS lower its guidance for up and coming quarters, reducing its Amazon deliveries by 50%, a huge sell-off, 17.7%. I thought some of you guys would at least want me to talk about this because, again, it was a big surprise. Now, is this something that you want to buy the dip on? That's up to you. The thing that I do want to point out is that it's been incredibly bearish for some time. Lower highs and lower lows. It just looks like UPS has been struggling. Now, there's always money to be made on a potential recovery, but again, that's all about at least waiting for some indication of this stock to recover. And as of right now, it's a falling knife. It's continuously making lower lows and lower highs. The cheap can always get cheaper. So buying into this dip, again, can be incredibly risky because the direction can just end up turning against you. Just wanted to make sure that I highlight that. And again, today after the market closes. If you guys want me to go live, just get this video to over 500 likes, and I'd be more than happy to host that free live stream here on the YouTube channel where we can go live and watch Apple report earnings. If you want me to do that, drop a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in just a few hours. I appreciate your time like always. Let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.